I'm Erwin Chemerinsky, and I'm the Dean of the Law School at the University of California at Irvine. I'm thrilled that today we're hosting a program for lawyers to train them in representing victims. Marsys Law is an initiative adopted in California to protect victims' rights. Victims need advocates in court. That's what Marsys Law provides.
This is a hardcore recruitment drive to get you to help us out. We have victims in here, we have prosecutors in here, we have criminal defense attorneys, we have defense investigators. We're kind of on the periphery. The focus of this, make no bones about it, is that we motivate you today to take up the call and represent victims who really need representation.
Victims' rights actually have a ripple effect on the immediate victim, to every family member, and to often very distant and remote family members, because the crime impacts entire lives of people and goes on in perpetuity, really, that impact. So what attorneys can do for victims is step into the criminal case when an investigation and prosecution are going on and make sure that the victim is treated with dignity and respect as the case is going on, and so that their privacy is respected, and that when their records are at issue, they're protected, and really just make sure that there's a human aspect to the criminal case that sometimes would be lost if there wasn't someone protecting the victim's rights.
It's really hard for me to tell you how much we appreciate you guys being here. You know, fighting the battle by yourself is not fun. And to have people care without having to live the tragedies that victims do, you've got a great heart, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Well, Marsys Law is the most cutting-edge law in the country on victims' rights. That's what makes it outstanding. Henry Nicholas pulled together the three biggest experts on victim law in the country, myself, Steve Twist, and Professor and former Judge Paul Cassell, to draft it and then supported its passage.
I think the framers of the Constitution would be horrified if they heard some of the stories that you guys have heard tonight. And it's interesting, when the Constitution was written, this was truly revolutionary in that it was a departure from the Napoleonic system of justice, where you were guilty till proven innocent. And the thing that needed to be enumerated, and that was truly important, was this concept of innocent till proven guilty. It never dawned upon them that you would need to enumerate the rights of the victims. I mean, that was incomprehensible to them. And over 200 years, we have evolved our system of justice in such a way that victims have become forgotten. So I very much thank all of you for coming here to be educated on Marsys Law, and more importantly, hopefully this will motivate you to dedicate yourselves to helping to enforce the new constitutional protections that exist for victims in the state of California. And actually, I would help in spreading the word that these constitutional protections really need to be enumerated in the U.S. Constitution. So, thank you.
I'm incredibly moved by the stories of the victims. I hear those victims every single day on my cases. I handle drunk driving murder cases for the County of Orange, and every single day I hear about victims who feel like the system just doesn't have room for them, and it doesn't give them an opportunity to be part of the process. The key example is, in our cases, a lot of times cases get settled very early on. People are used to negotiating with a judge in chambers, a place where victims don't have access to. Marsys Law has allowed us to argue to the court that the court shouldn't even consider making an offer in cases at an early stage until they hear from the victims. You cannot accurately and fairly assess a case until you know the consequence of the decisions that the perpetrator made. And so I actually have been trying to argue this for years, and now Marsys Law gives me an opportunity to have some authority behind what is really just common sense and fairness.
Today, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. As a criminal defense attorney, I wasn't sure whether we were going to get in a three-way tug over due process. And the seminar was most enlightening. It would appear that it's really an unserved area of the law for the general public, that I don't think many people even know exists.